Hi everyone, we are back with war number 9 against the Alliance SGA. We're going to be using Omega Sentinel to start, and we're going to be going up against this Man-Thing on path 7. We are going to be running Suicides as our first 3 fights are going to be using Omega Sentinel. On this first node on path 7, it has Running on Fumes, where it applies a fatigue debuff to the defender. Since Man-Thing doesn't shrug any of the debuffs, this node doesn't really do anything for Man-Thing, so we do just want to bring a counter. And Omega Sentinel will work great here, since we need her for 2 other fights on this path. We're just running a regen, since there's not a big danger here. The main thing to worry about is making sure we don't accidentally push Man-Thing to a special 3. We do have a special 3 defense boost on just in case that does happen, but you just want to watch out for your dexes feeding MD, and then the buffs Man-Thing applies to you once they fall off. Since Man-Thing cannot nullify Omega Sentinel since she's nullify immune, they'll just gradually fall off, and you just want to make sure you're kind of keeping track of them so you don't push Man-Thing to 3 bars of power. But as you can see, we're just throwing special 2s when we get to them, trying to pause our incinerate debuffs when we can, and just whittling Man-Thing down a little slow. But nice and easy fight to start the war off. This next fight is going to be against Domino. So we're going to be using Omega Sentinel again. This node also doesn't do much for Domino. The only way she would trigger the second wind damage is if you were applying bleeds, since that's the only debuff she shrugs. So similar approach here. We're going to build our debuffs and throw special 2s. We do want to be aware of her going lucky so that she doesn't evade and hit us. For that reason, we are running an invul boost, partially for this fight and the next one. So while she's lucky, we're only going to do 1 medium, then a light attack, just to be safe, so we're ready to parry if need be. But as you can see, she's going down pretty quickly. We're going to bait out this special 1 if we can. She doesn't want to play ball, so we're going to throw this special 2, and this should do enough damage to end the fight. So another quick Omega Sentinel fight, and we're going to make our way to our next fight with her, where we're going to be taking a Weapon X on node 24. For node 24, any buffs that are nullified, or buffs will get nullified and then give the defender a regen, where they are then unblockable while they have regen. Now that regen does have to be active, so Weapon X's passive regen doesn't come into play here, so the only thing we have to worry about here is his natural unblockable triggering when he goes berserk. So when fighting Omega Sentinel, I like to start with the heavy to switch us to heal block and then pause it, or the heavy will pause the debuff and then we apply a nice heal block right away. And we get to bait out this special while he's at 20 charges. We get to hit and intercept to pause our debuffs, bait out 1 more special 1, and then throw the special 2, and that will end the fight against Weapon X. So another quick fight for Omega Sentinel, and that's going to end her war. The next 2 fights are going to be with Galan, so we are going to turn Suicides off. For this Kingpin on path 1, the node is also Buffet over time, which will trigger a heal for Kingpin, and then once he gains enough heals, he'll go unblockable. So we want to make sure we use a Nullify Immune champ, which is going to be Galan. Omega Sentinel would also work for this fight, but you would likely want to use light ending combos only, so you're not applying a bunch of debuffs to Kingpin, and it would also be quite a bit slower fight. So the strategy here with Galan is we're going to medium, light, medium to build our planetary mass. We are going to push Kingpin to special 1s and bait special 1s only, as we don't want to deal with his special 2 unstoppable or taking all that damage in the block as well. As you see, we're going to throw our special 1s as well, just to build our planetary mass a little quicker. And he doesn't really want to throw a special 1 there, but finally he gets it out. We're going to throw this special 1, and that's going to be our last one before we start the harvest. Now to start the harvest here, since our parries won't stick on Kingpin, we're going to want to heavy counter one of his specials. So you're going to see we're going to do that on the next special we bait out right here. So we heavy counter. We started our harvest. We're going to build up a little bit more planetary mass before we throw our special 1, just to be safe. And with that, we should have plenty of damage here to end the fight. So nice and quick Galan fight. And this next fight is where things go wrong. As you can tell from the title of the video, I am going to die, and it is going to be to this fight. I did just have the regen gray boost going in. As you're going to see, that might not have been the best idea. So I heavy counter, or heavy at the beginning to try and play strike counter. Then we're going to throw this special 1. But my planetary mass, as you can tell, is not building as fast as I hoped. Because Captain Falcon, or Captain Sam, keeps glancing my attacks, I'm not building planetary mass at all. And so we start our harvest, and we clearly just don't have enough planetary mass. So I'm hoping we can build enough here, but the rupture damage is extremely high, something I did not expect. So we're taking a ton of damage, and we're going to throw this special 1. Not enough planetary mass to end the fight, and we get comboed and die. So just a bad strategy going in, not really understanding how the node was going to interact with our champion, so just a bad death overall. For this cleanup, we're going to use a power start 1, which is probably what I should have done to start with. To make sure that our specials Fate Seal, we should have dexed into them as well, instead of what we were doing there, where we were still glancing even from our specials. But we get the neutralizes to stick here, so this fight becomes pretty easy if that happens. He's already low on health, so we're just going to start the harvest now, as you can see, and this is obviously going to end the fight. So if I had to do it again, I would probably use a power start 1 and just make sure we're fate sealing as much as we can to keep those armor ups under control, so we wouldn't glance and take so much rupture damage. So we did pause in between that previous fight just to make sure, get our nerves settled, so we weren't going into a fight on tilt, well, in a bad space. Yeah, so I do throw on suicides back on for this node 50 fight against Sersi. Strategy here is to hopefully trigger her glancing, but we get our neutralize up, so we're just going to keep comboing. We're going to do our best to just bait special 1s only, as I find them quite a bit easier to dex. And we're going to trigger the glancing here, and we're just going to let her buffs that fall off kind of feed our Mystic Dispersion. Do a couple more combos here, more regen to fuel our Mystic Dispersion, and we're going to wait for this glancing to fall off and then throw our special 3. So now that we've done that, the fight should basically be won as long as we don't take any weird combos to the face or anything like that. And we're going to throw our special 1s to refresh our debuffs. She is at a special 2. We're just going to take it into block to be safe. No reason to get fancy and risk losing it. Throw our special 1 to Fate Seal, and that is going to end the fight. So nice and easy Diablo fight there to end the war. We do end up losing this war, unfortunately, which makes my death even worse, since obviously that contributed to our loss. This does bring us to 4-5 on the season. So to finish Masters, we're going to want to make sure we win at least 2 of our last 3 wars. So hopefully we're able to do that and secure Masters again. Thanks for watching.